This is KM Wyland, and you're listening to the 49th episode of the Wordplay Podcast. I finished my cleanup rewrite of my fantasy Dreamers Come. Approximately 3 months and 45,000 deleted words later, I'm extremely pleased with my slimmed-down version. I've got a hulking document full of my deletes, which I can't quite convince myself to wipe off my hard drive. Somehow cutting beloved words from a manuscript is always so much easier if they're not gone forever. Occasionally the deletes come in handy when I change my mind about getting rid of something, or when I want to recycle a scene for a different story. But most of the time my deleted data files are never touched again after I finish with a book. I still have the files from A Man Called Outlaw and Behold the Dawn, and unless my computer crashes, I'll probably always have them. Chalk it up to another quirky writer habit. Why one descriptor is more than two. The latest post in the video series on my blog demonstrates why less is usually more when it comes to descriptions, character actions, and more. You can watch the video on my blog at wordplay-kmwyland, that's weiland.blogspot.com. New videos are posted every Wednesday. Meanwhile, enjoy this week's podcast. Improve yourself, improve your writing. In a market as competitive as the writing world, we're all striving to be the best writers we can be. But would you be surprised if I told you that the only way to be a better writer is to be a better person? You know all those admirable self-improvement goals that always end up on your resolution list? Lose 10 pounds, clean the garage, learn to play foosball. At first glance, they may not seem to have anything in common with writing, but in fact they're related in several ways, most notably in that they all require discipline, hard work, pragmatism, and a long-term vision. Every single one of these things is a trait we could all probably do with a little bit more of. We'll be better people for possessing them, and as a result, we'll become better writers. We can get into the habit of looking at our writing separately from our life as a whole. But if we hope to be dedicated to our writing, we have to establish corresponding habits in every corner of our lives. We might like to think we can eat Twinkies for breakfast, leave our homes and workspaces in a state of disarray, and knock off commitments without a second thought, and still somehow be ace writers. But chances are good that the patterns we establish in other areas of our lives will spill over to our writing. We might possess all the talent in the world, but if we're not willing to back it up with 110% effort, we can hardly expect or deserve success. Ecstatic as the pinnacles of inspiration may be, writing, at its core, is more grit than glitz, more work than riches. It's the same in all art fields. In his article, How to Be a Professional Cartoonist, Hugh MacLeod makes 5 points that every serious author would do well to take note of, including the unappetizing, wake up early in the morning, head straight to the studio, and crank stuff out relentlessly. If we were to make a list of qualities of an author, the traits I've mentioned above probably wouldn't be the first to pop to mind. Our list would include words like beautiful prose, sharp characters, mind-bending plots, and zinging dialogue. And rightly so. Every good author needs to have these in his bag of tricks. But they won't do us a lick of good if we don't also possess the ability to apply them. In A Writer's Space, Eric Mazel, Ph.D., makes a note on the list of qualities every serious writer needs to possess. Of course you already knew what those qualities were. You just needed to heroically listen to your conscience. Become more creative by improving your character. Millions of people want to write stories, and a good portion of them do. But only those who are willing to cultivate a responsible lifestyle will be able to take full advantage of their talents and their dreams. So here's to a little self-improvement for all of us. Thank you for listening to the Wordplay Podcast. To read a transcript of this episode, visit me on the web at wordplay-kmwyland, that's weiland.blogspot.com, and be sure to listen again next week.